Am I the asshole for refusing to let my sister's kid stay with me after she passed away? We shall see. I, 34 female, recently lost my sister, 41 female, to cancer. It was devastating, and I'm still processing the grief. My sister was a single mom to 3 kids: Jake, 14 male, Emma, 12 female, and Lily, 8 female. In her will, she named me as the guardian of her children. Here's where things get complicated. I've never wanted kids of my own. I love my nieces and nephew, but I've always been the fun aunt who takes them out for ice cream or to the movies. I've never had to be responsible for major decisions about their lives. I have a demanding career as a corporate lawyer, often working 60 plus hours a week. I live in a small 1-bedroom apartment in the city, which is perfect for me, but definitely not suitable for 3 growing kids. My lifestyle involves a lot of travel and late nights at the office. I'm also in a relatively new relationship, 10 months, with a loving boyfriend who's also child-free by choice like me. When my sister first told me about her decision to name me as the guardian, I expressed my concerns. I told her that I didn't feel comfortable with that role because I didn't think my boyfriend, job, and lifestyle wouldn't survive it. She assured me that it was just a precaution and that she would be sure she'd beat the cancer. I didn't press the issue because I thought/hoped she'd beat the cancer, and also because I wanted her to remain optimistic. We never really had another serious conversation about it. Now that she's gone, I've told my family I don't think I can take the kids. I've suggested that our parents, mid-60s, retired, take them instead, or possibly our older brother, 40 male, who has 2 kids of his own and lives in a large house in the suburbs. My family is furious with me. They say I'm selfish and that I'm abandoning the kids when they need someone the most. I hate that. I absolutely hate that. I hate that people put their wants on somebody else that didn't even want it, or responsibility on somebody else that didn't want it in the first place. And then everybody else that could help are chiming in, calling you selfish. So what makes them? So what are they? They don't have any responsibility in this too? They argue that that was my sister's dying wish for me to raise her children, and I'm pissing all over her memory by refusing. My parents say that they're too old to raise young kids again, and my brother claims he can't afford 3 more children. The kids themselves are understandably upset and confused. Jake, the oldest, overheard a conversation among family members and then Skyped me, visibly upset, saying that I'm abandoning them just like their dad did. He left when Lily was a baby. I feel absolutely terrible about the whole situation. I love my nieces and nephew and want what's best for them, but I honestly don't think I'm equipped to raise 3 kids. I'm also dealing with my own grief, and I'm worried that if I take them in, I'll end up resenting them and not giving them the care and attention they deserve. I've offered to contribute significantly financially to their care, whoever ends up taking them in. I've also said that I'd still be involved in their lives as their aunt, but I just don't think I can be a full-time guardian. My brother told me my life has changed and that I need to embrace it. I feel trapped with no way out, and most of the days are spent crying. You see, to me, it's the parents and the brother that are abandoning these kids. Because you cannot sit there and tell somebody who did, you're absolutely right. To me, you're not the asshole. And I don't care, anybody could chime in on this post and say, oh, but it's family, you supposed to step up for family. Okay, so where's the family gonna be? If she says that I have a 60 plus hour a week job, I'm often traveling, I have a new boyfriend. So now, if and she lives in a 1-bedroom apartment, so who's gonna fund the lifestyle for her to upkeep and for her to even not be there for those kids in that 1-bedroom apartment? So she's gonna have to buy a bigger place, rent or purchase a bigger place, and she could possibly lose her job, because either possibly lose her job or she's gonna be neglecting the kids. Then it's gonna be, oh, you're a bad parent towards these kids. She didn't want to be a parent in the first place. And I can see how easily you could resent them, because your life is going to be topsy-turvy once you end up taking full custody of them. From going from no kids, not even wanting kids, to having 3 kids. Yes, some people are commendable in being able to do that and step up to the plate and take care of kids that's not their own, that's their nieces, nephews, and, the loss of a family member. But not everybody's equipped for that. Not everybody's equipped for that, and people need to understand that. The mom and the brother, the parents and the brother, granted, mom and dad are retired in their 60s. Cool, no problem. But you also have a 14, we're not talking about a 2-year-old toddler. We're talking about a 14, a 12, and an 8-year-old. More than likely are able to sustain and take care of themselves daily. They can get up. More than likely you have to wake them up or get them up, but they can get up, they can feed themselves, they can get themselves together. It'd be basically, yes, it's going to be a lot with raising them kids, but the parents are retired. That's the first option, I would think. And I'm sure they probably have space in their house because they raised 2 kids if they're in the same house. So that would be the first option, is put them with the retired parents. Yes, they've lived their lives and they don't want to have to deal with kids, but you shouldn't have to be forced to deal with kids because you didn't want kids in the first place. Second, the brother, he's raising kids of his own. He could add 3 more to his roster. I feel it unfair to put kids with somebody who does not want kids against people who already has raised kids or that is currently raising kids. They have experience with dealing with kids. I don't feel you're the asshole. I'm just figuring out where the rest of the family is and why you're the one that have to pick up this burden and why everybody wants to berate you about your, going against your sister's dying wish. Yeah, that was her wish. That's not mine. That's not mine. And people can say what they want. You cannot sit there and force something like this on someone. It's not fair. And if you feel it's not going to be good for your sanity, for your mental health, for your livelihood, like, are they going to take care of you when you lose your job? Because now your whole life has to be topsy-turvy to take care of 3 kids that you didn't even want in the first place. It's a sad situation, and I feel bad that the kids are even put in this situation. But at the same time, she should have had a better... Her thought process was, she's the only one without any kids. She's young. She'll come around to taking care of the kids, which is very selfish. She should have had a family discussion. And from the time you said that you don't... Somebody's not going to tell me they don't want my kids and I'm going to say, oh, I'm going to leave my kids with you. You'll come around. Absolutely not. I'm going to automatically think you're not going to take care of my kids the way I would want to take care of my kids. So no, that would be an absolute no for me. I would say, listen, brother, mom, dad, y'all got to come together collectively because she don't want any kids. Like, these type of discussions need to be had, not just come and say, well, eventually you'll come around. I want you to be the guardian. And she clearly said, I do not want any kids. I'm fine being a rich auntie over here. And it should have been left at that. I feel like the grandparent, the retired grandparents and the brother are more so assholes. And you shouldn't be made to feel like that. That's just my opinion. People could say, oh, it's family. You need to figure it out and step up to the plate. But you shouldn't have to be responsible for 3 kids if you don't want to.